What up, my freaks? Ruinous Insight here with part 9 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Taurox the Brass Bull campaign. So as we saw last time, Malagor's primarily aerial army, let's say, had its debut battle against that of Rakarth. A pretty interesting matchup, and was actually a fairly tough battle that we actually had to work for in terms of acquiring the win. Obviously at the current level, this army isn't going to be able to face off against any super elite stacks, but it is very fun to play with, and we will adjust it as we go. Get a few more giants in there, maybe a couple of incarnate elementals, something along those lines, and we'll see about any additional units. Actually, I just out of curiosity, do Bray Shamans buff Harpies? I know that certain, I think Dark Elf Sorceresses buff Harpies in SFO. Obviously that's for Dark Elf Harpies, but it looks like Beret Shamans and do not. We'll have to take a look at what exactly Wargors do when we get the first of the Wargors up and running, but yeah, it doesn't look like the Beret Shamans have any particular buffs for any particular unit. Oh well. Anyway, in terms of what we gotta do this time around, we'll continue making our way through Dark Elven territories with Malagor as best we can, and Taurox has nearly arrived in Bretonnian territories, and we'll start his rampage there as he heads all the way towards Kurun, and Morgr will start this episode off by heading in and attacking Drycha. Let's see if we can't, well, in fact, let's attack immediately. Let's see if we can't get an ambush going. I do have to wonder what her ambush resistances are. You're in Beastmen ambush. She's right at the end of your range, and let's give it a shot. Alright, now those Malevolent Treemen and those Malevolent Dryads are going to be pretty difficult to deal with, and yes indeed we will get the ambush. Fantastic. It'll be hard to bring down the Malevolent Treekin and Treemen, and yeah, don't underestimate Drycha's Dryads, because they're extremely buffed compared to regular Dryads, and Drycha herself is no slouch as well. Before we get started, it looks like this time we actually did reach the engagement threshold, so this episode will be an hour long. Like episodes before, and the offer still stands. 300 likes and 50 comments, and the next episode will be an hour long as well. Great work, guys. Let's enjoy this ambush. Then I guess let's make sure that Drycha does not, though I do feel bad because for those who remember the Vampire Counts campaign with Vlad, Drycha will always be best girl. Anyway, go. Alrighty, here we go. Poor Drycha and all of her Dryads about to get ambushed. Now, we don't really have the melee stack necessary to spread out over the entire length of the enemy army, but I think that'll be okay. We're going to start off with our Centaurs and 2 units of Ungor Spears and 2 units of Chaos Spawn deployed at the back of the enemy column, as they will be trying to focus down the Malevolent Treekin and Malevolent Treeman, or rather, they're going to be there to keep them pinned in place while the armor-piercing throwing axes of the Grog Hooves of Wolf's Run try to bring them down. And the Centaurs have all hit the enemy ranged Dryads, the bow Dryads, and ooh, that's gonna hurt. And ooh, right into the middle of our blob of Centaurs, unfortunately, but a nice shot is a nice shot, and credit where it's due. Anyway, the enemy archers are stopped, though it looks like some of the Dryads have peeled away from the center of the enemy force to help them out. The Drycha is embroiled in a fight with Morgr himself, though he did summon a unit of Chaos Spawn to help out a little bit, though I think that he should be able to handle Drycha himself. More or less. They are also roughly even in terms of their levels, but we should have the advantage here. You gotta love Drycha's roots attack thing that she does, and now it looks like she's actually going to break fairly quickly. Well, it is an ambush battle, and we do expect it to be over quite quickly as well. The Chaos Spawn have peeled away and are going to chase down that Waystalker, while Morgr gives chase to Drycha herself. The rest of our Chaos Spawn are ripping into those Malevolent Dryads, and luckily they're not heavily armored enough to pose too much of a threat to the Chaos Spawn, as once again the Chaos Spawn have relatively low armor-piercing damage, but it looks like that works. Now, it looks like the axes of the Centaurs have done their work, smashing into that tree man, malevolent tree man, and forcing it to rout, while the rest of the units are being taken care of by our Chaos Spawn and our Ungors. Working out reasonably well. A few more of those axes will fly, and it looks like the enemy Malevolent Tree Man will be down fairly shortly, and just lost about 700 of HP with that volley. And here comes the next volley. And down it goes. Very, very nice. Alright, well, taking axes to trees, who'da thunk it? It works reasonably well. Looks like some of the enemy Dryads are still fighting, though Drycha herself is done for, I think, and the Waystalker is now being chased down by Morgr. And while a few Dryads remain, I see that the chain rout is about to happen, and there it is. There it is. Well, we can always expect these ambushes to be quick, but it was a lovely little fight. And nonetheless, we do, however, have a lot of work ahead of us in the form of chasing everything down and preventing us from needing to chase the enemy. This was right at the end of the deployment range for Morgr, or the campaign movement range for Morgr, so we won't be able to chase anything that escapes down. But anyway, the rest of that off screen. Alrighty, there we are, a very nice little fight, and only the cave bats survived. I guess we could have probably chased them down with a little bit of help from our axe-throwing units of Centaurs, but I guess we didn't need to. Speaking of the axe unit, the axe-throwing unit of Centaurs, 24k damage, and beating every single other unit except for one unit, the Huggy Bears, particularly. Chaos Spawn, who did fantastic as well. As for the Centaur throwing axes, I was quite impressed with the way that they were able to bring down that Malevolent Tree Man. I was expecting it to cause a little bit more trouble to this army, mostly because the Chaos Spawn have basically no armor piercing, massive damage, but barely any armor pierce, and we'd have to rely on the great weapon Centaurs, but it looks like the throwing axes really showed us their worth here. Also, great job to the two Tsangors, and you know what? I think I'm going to name the Tsangors as well. Let's take the cash. I mean, we're not that damaged, and it'll put our bestial rage below where it needs to be, unfortunately. But we're getting closer to where more enemies are, and I still think it's probably worth the effort. To take the money, I mean. Alrighty. Hey, you do that, Morgr. Most likely we'll get attacked by Colas the Forgotten here, but that's just fine. And an increase of plus 10 weapon strength when attacking generally? Oh, I thought that this would be for attacking Wood Elves. Damn, I should have tried to hunt down Drycha with Taurox as well, though he's a little bit far away now and immune to Athalor and attrition. Well, I think we didn't need that one, but thanks, I guess. Korgoth, I don't think you need to do anything, but I would like you to move out here just to keep an eye on whether there are other armies. Aha! Okay, so it may be that all of these armies will attack us at once, and we won't have the ability to back ourselves up with ambush. That made no sense, but you know what I mean. What's making me wonder now is this. If we go into Hidden Encampment, the armies won't know that we're here anymore. Although I suppose they could try to go for Krugenheim. But we do want to heal a little bit. If this guy's going over here, that might be a little bit annoying, but we haven't really built anything at Wiedebachi yet, or Talabayim, so I guess we can completely ignore them for now. You know what? Just stay here and Hidden Encampment. Oh, This guy could actually reach Krugenheim, but I guess he can't take it out on his own. Very tempted to not even go into a hidden encampment just because of this. Well, let's just stay and heal up and we'll see. We could go into raiding stance, but if we do, then we'll get hit with the Vigor Winded, and if we get hit by these two, I'd rather not. Alrighty, let's see what else needs to be done. We got a little bit more cash. Is there anywhere else where we could actually spend a little bit more money? I'd like to get that additional dread. Sahuagin is likely to fall, so we're not going to do anything there. And yeah, no, it doesn't look like it. Alright, that's fine. I guess we're ready to end the turn and continue. We're not besieging anything, at least I don't think. Low Bestial Rage on Morgar we already dealt with. Hopefully nobody else has Low Bestial Rage. What about Kaz? Where are you, buddy? Alright, you're going to Kappelberg, and the Empire has 2 territories remaining? Yes, it does. Meaning that Karl Franz will rebuild his army here at Dukelberg next. And we'll need to send Morgar around then. I guess we'll send Morgar through the Golden Order. I was gonna have him go through the Wood Elf territories, but you know what? He's already defeated Drycha. We can always get Kaz to defeat Drycha then. I think that'll work better. While Morgar slowly heads towards Athelloren proper. Anyway, outpost available, not worth wasting our cash on. It's on the turn. And I guess next... Oh, you know what I probably should have done? I should have gotten the Gorbel replacement. Maybe not. We still got 1 turn of it. Grom the Paunch wants a peace treaty, not unless you offer us at least, let's say, 5,000, 3.7. Not ready for it yet. Now let's wait until he's a little bit richer and maybe has a few less armies on the field. I'm sure he'd be a little bit more likely to peace out with lots of money. Or maybe we just ignore him and keep destroying everything in our path, as is the appropriate thing to do. What we really should do, though, is probably send somebody up to Skarbrand and Kugath and Nakari. They're all up in Norska, and frankly, we want to get some of their units. And the Plague of the Crow. The settlement has been infected with a plague. Oh, these are these plagues. We're plaguinating stuff now. Nice. Causes attrition to everybody nearby. Well, that's unfortunate for everybody nearby, I guess. And Altdorf, I guess you can build another one of these Winds of Malady itself, mostly for the income from raising settlements. And we'll take another look at these. I don't think we want to invest in the 4K ones as yet, but I'll think about it. Alrighty, now, where did the main stack go? And by main stack, I mean that full stack that was nearby. Because I see it no longer. I also see that the Averland army is no longer here either. I feel like they're heading over here. But if they are, they are. I think we're going to not really care that much about that. Especially since we didn't build those up. Morgar, you're probably going to head to Mordheim, which should, I think, be auto-resolvable. And ooh, hello, some Vamps. I'll be going after you shortly as well. Also, Kaz, you were able to kill off Mr. Boris Todbringer last time. Proceed to Kappelberg, please, and do a quick little auto-resolve. Although, wait, let me just take a quick look here for a second. We'll auto-resolve this, but encircle it for now. This is not part of any place. Do we want to raise a stone here? This will give us all of this. No, I still think this is probably the best area. Yeah, this encompasses quite a lot of ruins. I mean, I guess we'll have to destroy Griffinwood on the way to it, so that'll be kind of a waste of a few things. But I don't want to double back either, so yeah. And this will be the biggest area denial that we can get, and area denial is going to be reasonably important at some point, so these little ruin dwellers don't capitalize too much on everything. Also, are you able to switch to ruination stance? You are not. Alright, Kaz, come on now. Auto-resolve that, a little bit of damage, but I'm not sure we care. We are not going to raise a herdstone, but we are going to loot and raise. Stop moving that way. Oh, every time. Manish Thrall, yeah, sure. And let's pop you into... I guess we could go hidden encampment and replace the Gores at least. I also did want to build the chariot building for you, sir. Because you do want your Razor Gore chariots. I really wish it wasn't so ludicrously expensive, but we do need it. So, a Razor Gore chariot building, it is. And while we're here, we want to replace you. We do have the capacity, and we want to replace you. And yeah, I know, a little bit of veterancy, but I also don't care. Let's... can we replace a Razor Gore herd as well? It's only 3 veterancy on them. Frankly, I also don't really care for the Tusk Gore chariots, but, you know, we'll replace them when we get the Razor Gore chariots. Combine, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3. Oh, lovely. Can't do anything about the Besta Gores because we can't replace them and we don't have capacity for them, but that'll be fine. Oh, damn, did I just delete a named Razor Gore? Yeah, I did. Alright, I'll bring the name back next time. Somebody remind me if I forget, but I will hopefully remember. Damn, I gotta remember that that's an issue when replacing units. Okay, an ignominious end for... I didn't see which name that one was. Also, you know what? Sangors, I'm gonna consider the Sangors to be just Gores, so I'm gonna give them Gore suggestion names. They're Gores enough for our purposes, so Blood and Gores for you. And how about Philoctetes' progeny? There we go. Oh, wow, that actually fits. Oh, actually, we had plenty of room. Surprising. Alright, there we go. Just for those 2. The young Gores will obviously be replaced. And actually, this army has a lot of the names, so maybe I don't want to go overboard on naming this particular army stuff. Anyway, Taurox, Castle Sungas, and it's Bordello Arrington. They're having a pretty bad time. They're also fighting against Clan Pestilence, and once again, since we don't know Pestilence, we can't ask them to join war, so I guess we just declare war on them. And this will force Kuran to fight us. I'm not sure we'd care. That's fine. Alright, head over to Castle Sungas, go into Ruination stance, and away we go. Hey. Kuran will declare war on us, and obviously this will be auto-resolvable because there's big... Oh, of course. Now we discover Pestilence, and we could have asked them to join the war. And just out of curiosity, they're at war with both of them, too. How much trade would you give us? Not much. Vomit, alright, I was just checking if that was Lord Skrulk, because maybe we would want to kill him. But anyway, auto-resolve, or wait, do we want to raise a herdstone here? I mean, it takes the Bears of Quila and the Black Chasm, or we could take something... and we could take something like Sud here. Is that better? Be a little bit better. Théraville. Oh, this doesn't encompass Fort Berg-Bray, but does that really matter? Probably not. Castle Gisoreux might also be an even better one, depending on how many territories around it. Yeah, I think we'll just raise Sangas and take another place, because we're probably not going to double back for the Skaven at the Barrows of Quila for quite a while. Yeah, just raise it. Auto-resolve. Tiny bit of damage, but nothing we care about. A 93 dread now instead of the... how much was it that we were getting before? 75 standard? Stop moving. Hey, another pox carrier. Very nice pickup there. Happy about that. Another challenge completed. Good. Back into raiding, and how are we for the rampage? Well, we're nowhere near for the first one yet, so a while yet. Sadly, we can't raid, but we can proceed a little bit further. And we should be able to maybe get both of these next turn. Or maybe, probably not if we make Sud a herdstone. Also, wait, we're down from 5 to 1. Your ritual locks are a problem. We could just get rid of them, as in both of these territories, or at least one of the territories, to re-lock that. But that's 1, 2... There should be 4. Where's the other? Oh, it's these 2, isn't it? Ritual locked and ritual locked. Okay, yeah, we really need to... We're gonna run out of herdstones if we're not careful, so... Yeah, we need to get those back up. Anyway, Morgar, I would like you to go into ambush stance, or ruination stance, perhaps? Nah, you can't reach it. Alright, fine. Ambush stance it is. Head to Mordheim, and... Braegburner will still not be able to reach you, but soon. Alright, and I think this... Close victory, really? This is gonna hurt our Chaos Spawn again, isn't it? I have a bad feeling about how the auto-resolve dislikes the Chaos Spawn. What if that other army, that full stack, is actually nearby and we just can't see it? Let's do a quick fight here. Let's just do a super quick fight. Yeah, just go. I'm gonna do... Alrighty, here we go up the hill towards the enemy. We have not ambushed them this time like we did with Drycha, and it did turn out to be a nice enough battle to make it worthy of a cinematic as well. Now there is an enemy feral manticore to consider, though it will be forced into rampage relatively soon, and the two enemy treemen are going to be an issue. The regular treeman and the ancient treeman, who will also be able to cast stuff. You have Flock of Doom, I see Visen's wild form, and probably Amber Spear. No, that's a Vindictive Glare, isn't it? Or Lamentation of Despairs, rather. This is not orcs, but close enough. Anyway, the forces are now engaged. Treekin facing off against the Chaos Spawn, though Tsangors are backing them up. And we gotta get a few more Tsangors in this army as fast as we can, but we need that capacity. Nice Lamentation of Despairs into this Ungor herd from the Ancient Treeman, and it looks like the Ungors will just book it on out of there and get after getting hit with that single spell. Very, very nice. The leadership reduction plus the terror caused by the Treeman all looks like it's plenty. Over on this side, it looks like one of our flanking units of spawn, the spawn of the Shadowgave in particular, are getting pretty badly beat up, mostly probably because of this Treeman here. As we've already seen before, the Dryads aren't really a threat to them. So we're going to move in our Centaurs once again with throwing axes to hopefully bring down that Treeman quick as we can. Few axes to lead the way into a few of the Dryads into their backs, and there we go. Now we're positioned and this thing should start, there we go, starting to drop in its HP. It is quite a lot of HP to work through, but now it's also poisoned on top of all that. And hopefully our Chaos Spawn will survive. Speaking of Chaos Spawn, a few more will move in to reinforce this portion of the battlefield. There we go, another nice volley from the Centaurs. And now it's just a matter of attritioning the enemy Dryads. Over in the background, though, we still have our other Centaurs chasing down the Malevolent Dryads and Glade Guard, various range units that the enemy have, and the enemy is doing a pretty decent job at still fighting. All those Dryads most definitely still in the battle, the Ancient Treeman facing off against Morgar, and frankly, blocking off quite a few of those Chaos Spawn. Unfortunately, the Ancient Treeman is very heavily armored, and the relative lack of armor-piercing damage on the Chaos Spawn will still be quite problematic, at least compared to their base attack, though their base attack is pretty damn high. They hit harder than Minotaurs. And I mean, they hit harder than Taurox's Minotaurs. I don't mean regular Minotaurs. Regular Minotaurs only have 100 and, I want to say 20 attack, though pretty much all of that is armor piercing. It is pretty big difference in the Chaos Spawn and what they do in mincing basic infantry. Anyway, it looks like back here the enemy Ancient Treeman is done for. The axes have finally managed to more or less bring it low, although a few of those axes will fly by and knock out a few of our Centaurs and such. And that Treeman will break and will soon rout. Guys, stop missing with your axes, damn. Unbelievable. Alrighty, well, it looks like without the Treeman, the enemy Dryads will get surrounded and I'm sure will shortly get destroyed. In the background, we are still riding around with our Centaurs and taking out the rest of the enemy Glade Guard, as well as the enemy, I think there was a Waywatcher unit in here? Or was there? Am I mistaken? Or was it, it must have been Malevolent Dryads with bows, alright. Well, close enough. I guess. Alright, well the enemy range units are disabled, and it looks like Morgar's doing a pretty good job against the Malevolent Dryads, and here come a few axes, or Malevolent Ancient Treeman, and here come a few of those axes to help bring him down. Plus, of course, he's getting hit by, there we go, by tons of those Chaos Spawn, all at the same time. Alright, a much better battle than I was expecting, and I'm happy for Morgar as he does so love fighting the Wood Elf factions. A little bit of a prelude to actually getting to Athelloren, but nonetheless, a very welcome one for him, I'm sure. And the ruinous powers that he represents. Anyway, we're going to not bother chasing everybody down because this is a settlement battle. Alright, you know what, I was a lot happier with that battle than I was expecting to be. Turned out to be quite a nice one indeed. Morgar got a little bit of damage on him, but once again, the Grog Hooves of Wolf's Run are really helping out, knocking out both the Malevolent Treeman and taking about half HP from the other. The Chaos Spawn did well, but that's hardly surprising, and it looks like, let's see which one did the best to you, sir. Nearly 15k damage for the Spawn Gores, and very appropriately at that, I might add, which I think did the best out of all the Spawn, and probably the second best unit after this unit of Centigores. I would name you, but I think we're probably going to replace you with Great Weapon Centigores, so yeah, a little bit later. Alright, Gleaming Pennant we don't really care about. What we do care about is... Other than Raisin isn't that much. I'm actually tempted to heal here. Yeah, Raisin advance. Come back up to... there we go. Well, let's heal up a little bit. And Krugenheim's already popped its ritual and the Blood Ground, and yeah, that's all fine. I guess now the question is, do we help Kazarak to go here, or do we just go southward? Honestly, if we're not currently at war with the Templehof faction, maybe we do just burn down the rest of Drycha's stuff and then head through Nuln. Oh, I guess if the Skaven take out Dukelberg, we won't even need to deal with the remnants of the Empire, so there is something to be said for that. Anyway, go into raiding stance, please. And start moving towards Kiel, I guess, or possibly Essen. Yeah, that's fine. Alrighty. And who's up next? Malagor, you still have work to do, good sir. I noticed that there's a little Skaven faction at Cebreros. They'll probably take Cebreros if we occupied. What Skaven faction are you? Clan Scab, we have no agreements with you, so we are free to destroy you, should we desire to do so. They do have 2 settlements, though, and we don't know where the second one is. I assume it's not at Reyes, but it very well could be. Could also be in any one of these ruins. Oh, it's probably in Scabreach. Scabreach? Probably Scabreach. Probably not Scabreach. They just really like ska. If you're here... You know what, we're gonna ignore them for now. Let's go for Cebreros. Go into Ruination, sir, and head down there. This is probably not going to be auto-resolvable. And we should also keep an eye on what's nearby. Actually, before we attack... Yeah, we're gonna have to manually fight this, but that's pretty much what I expected. Before we attack, and before I forget... Yeah, enemy killed in battle, that's fine. Rewards... Dread. Let us take a look here. No, not here. Lords and Heroes, Gorbel. Alright, how much dread we got? 8k. I'd like to get to the main, ritual places up to level 4, and that does cost 2k, so we're gonna save that, but I did want another one of these. And big bulls. Let's get you rotten. Wish they weren't so expensive, and I also wish that one had another Minotaur buff, but oh well. We did need 3, and there is the 3rd. I guess the question is, would we want or need one in Kazarak's army, or is he gonna be good with just the Gores? This is certainly a question. Let me just see here for a second. There, we do have one that's raised with hounds as well, though. So we could buff Kazarak's hounds further. It makes me think that maybe we want 6 of the hounds in his army, but honestly, his army's kind of hurting for space right now. And granted, we're going to replace Bamu Deathherd here, but we want at least 2 Wargors. Ah, screw it, let's get... Oh, wait, can he even... He can't even build them, can he? The Gorbals, we'd have to build one all the way back here and very, very slowly ferry it over. It's gonna take a long time. You know, it's gonna take so long, I'm not gonna bother right now. I'd rather just build one there next time that we need to. This is probably not the only time we'll be building Gorbals after all. Won't be the last. Anyway, Malagor. We had work to do with you, sir. You're saving the rest of your points, I think. It's not gonna be much, but, well, we'll get you your something wicked this way comes, but your Gorbal can get... I think we want the armor bonus. I mean, the attack bonus is nice, but the armor bonus on the giants, they need a little bit more defenses than they need attack, don't they? And the vast and ending warher doesn't really help you, so yeah, let's get the strength of the land. You're going to be leading the giants of this army after all. Anyway, the rest of that looks good to me, though we need to take away your Trickster's Helm. Let's see if this battle works as a cinematic or whether it has to be done manually. Alrighty, here we go. Now there is one thing that flying armies pretty much always tend to excel at, and that's attacking walled settlements. Who cares about walls and gates and towers when you can fly right over and by them? And in fact, with at least half of our force deploy pretty much inside the enemy settlement as well. We're going to peel off a few of our hurt harpies to hunt down this unit of dark shards back here, and the other harpies are going to head directly for the enemy towers to prevent them from reinforcing, while our manticores have arrived up on the walls and are going to be ripping apart those poor dark shards. They were trying to take shots at our giant or perhaps at our Gorbal, but that just ain't gonna work. And this is not a place you want to be. Flock of Doom coming down from Malagor as well. On top of all that, and Overcast together with the reduction of spell resistance from that Trickster Shard to do a little bit more damage. There we go, Manticores have already cleared the wall of Dark Shards and are now going to land below the walls and start working on the enemy Bleak Swords and whatever else they can find down here. I do believe there's a Death Hag leading these guys somewhere around here, unless I'm mistaken. And, oh. That's the reason. Death Hag can't be seen with all of these Manticores and Malagor everywhere. Alright. Now, it does look like the enemy will want to block off the gate using their most elite and most threatening unit. It's a Blackguard of Nagrand and even a unit of Witch Elves to try to hold off our Razorgores. Fortunately, Razorgores are not particularly fragile and are good enough, or going to be good enough, to continue doing damage and causing bleed to all these units. This also allows our very much menacing, in that they are a menace, harpies to continue to do their work, jump down or drop down among the enemy archers and enemy infantry, and continue to dish out massive amounts of damage, quick as they can, with a little help from their poisonous leaders, the Manticores. Flying armies are very fun. You gotta love any army that plays really, really differently from other armies, and I do want a Beastmen ranged army. I'm quite interested in the concept. Centaurs with throwing axes together with Cygors and Ungor raiders should make for a pretty interesting army. A decent amount of skirmishing available due to the Centaurs with throwing axes, but they can also act to chase down and charge enemies. Of course, the Cygors are pretty nasty in their capabilities, though that obviously won't be the only army where we use Cygors. Anyway, it looks like most of the enemy infantry over on this side have been broken, and thus we charge all of the Manticores at once in to try to help out at the gate location. The gate itself has gone down, and the giant, together with the Gorbal, are going to move in and start working on those enemy Blackguard of Nagrand and the enemy Witch Elves. Here come a few more harpies to add a little bit more bleed and a little bit more damage to the fray. I guess one unfortunate aspect of this army is it's oftentimes very difficult to see what the heck is going on, because the harpies and the flyers in general have a tendency to just mob enemy forces. So all you can see is just a massive blob of wings and talons, but that's probably appropriate for a flying army. Anyway, with that, the last of the enemy holdouts have broken. The elites, the Witch Elves, and the Nagaron, or the Blackguard of Nagaron, the last to fall, as it should be, and the settlement, and just like that, quickly and easily, is Malagor's. Alright, very nice, little good old-fashioned aerial superiority versus walled settlements. We're gonna loot and raise. As we do, get that bestial rage back up and running, and this time you can actually back off here, and that's a good thing, because we'll be in our own territory, and thus we'll heal up a little bit more. Do you, Malagor, need to build anything? I mean, we could build a raiding group for 2k, and let's just get the impaled corpses, screw it. Hidden encampment for you. Start making your way down to... Okay, that's Plague of the Crow. Ooh, for a second I was worried that that was a Skaven Plague. Skaven Plague terrifies me. But yeah, raiding group for you, and yeah, go for those impaled corpses. There's a bunch of other stuff we need in your army, but it's going to be a while before we can or need to get to it. And otherwise, additional dread should be fine right now. I'm gonna hold off on the icons of vilification for now as well, although, unless I'm misremembering, yeah, it's horde building construction cost minus 25%. What is in the fight? Icons of vilification. What are we facing off against? Some nice Imperial troops, including a unit of, well, non-halberdier at least. Demi-griffs. The knights shouldn't be a problem. The infantry, maybe only slightly problematic. We're too hurt to fight it over the next couple of turns, though I think we'll need to recover, so I think we'll wait. So, in that light, we'll just keep going as we are. Alrighty, I don't believe there's anything else we need to do this turn. We do have a little bit of more dread that we can spend, but I don't think there's anything critical right now, and we are waiting for the next moon to hopefully get decent amounts of dread, which means we're going to skip the rest of this and we're going to end the turn. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. This was the last turn of Call of the Gorbulls. But once again, since we can only build the Gorbulls here, and we also can no longer afford another Gorbull. Wait, one other second though. Clan Septic really wants a defensive alliance, so the reason I'm checking this is... 1,000 Maws want to peace out. Yeah, good luck. Alright, Clan Septic. We're not going to do a defensive alliance. This just means they're weak, so I'm curious how much money they'd give us to declare we're at 1.4k. Yeah, that's not really... that's not really worth our time. Yeah, alright, that's fine then. End turn. And nothing else to spend. Hopefully you don't take one of these territory... He just took this, didn't he? This ruin that we just made, didn't he? He suspiciously disappeared there. But I guess we can expect that from the Skaven. Alright, Clan Septic. We were just talking about you. Go away, though. We're still not going to do the alliance. Regardless of whether we were talking about you. And 194 looks good to me. Confederation between the Ice Core 10, that's Sarayovishchina. Broken Axe Wafails, I don't care. Warherd revealed Malagor, great for Malagor. Settlement receives Plague. This is our Plague, so I don't think we care about that. This is our Plague, right? Yeah, Plague of the Crow. Oh! It increases growth. Well, that's kind of interesting. But we don't grow. So why would our own plagues increase growth? Does it increase the growth of enemy factions? No, control reduction. Curious. Why would they make a plague? I guess this is just a reworked plague from one of the other Nurgle factions, which is why it's doing that. At least I imagine so. But anyway, can't do anything about that right now. Kazrak, you're going to go into raiding stance and move towards Griffinwood. I guess we were going to go for Sethas, but once again, we're not going to jump over and redo it. You can raid here for a little bit, though you will be hurt. Will you be able to take this? Yeah, there's not that much there. Shouldn't be a problem unless a full stack arrives, which I imagine it won't over the next turn. And it's, frankly, a very decent amount of raiding, so we may as well get some use out of it. Castle Gisoreux. Ooh. Yeah, Castle Gisoreux is a good place to set one of these up. Alright, can you reach Gisoreux in a single bound? I probably could, wait, if we go into Beast Paths, we could jump here and then grab it and then go like this. It'll cost an extra turn, essentially, but it might be worth it. Or we just raise Sood and then go through it. There's a bridge here, right? And we just be able to cross. Maybe either one's fine. I mean, it's an extra 6 is not that big of a deal. Frankly, we're already halfway through. And just to raise Sood, I think. Go here. And we'll raise a herd stone at Castle Gisoreux. And we will, however, before doing this, encircle the place. And we will delete you, Ungor Herd, and replace you with Mr. Korok over here. And I guess we'll need to level him up 1 second. There we go. Okay. You just need to get the Vast Unending War Herd to get that fear, or terror rather, for the Minotaurs. Alright, 1 second, guys. Sorry, my cat. I need to move my cat. 2 seconds. Alright, sorry about that. He kept meowing and it was extremely distracting and I couldn't think straight. Yes, we will raise you. Easy enough. And, oh wow, a little more damage than I would have liked here, but, I guess this isn't that much money, but then again... just leave and raise. And stop moving. Thank you. And another Ruby Ring of Ruin, which is another Ruby Ring of Ruin that we don't need. And, you can't cross the river, really? But the bridge is right there. Are you telling me that this still counts as needing to cross the river? That's really weird. Because there's no zone of control here, so it shouldn't. We should be able to get across. Huh. Well, that's annoying. I feel like it shouldn't work that way. There's nothing blocking us from crossing the river here at the river crossing. Well, whatever. Can't do anything about that. Can't raid this turn, unfortunately, but we will do so next turn. And who now needs to move? Korgoth. You... We're trying to find that other stack, and I still don't know where it went, and I'm still concerned about it. It was a full stack, and we still need to destroy it. And we still can't see it. Bravener, you're just never gonna get to join Morgar's army, are you? Yeah, would you look at that? Marius Lightdorf is back. He's gonna go for Krugenheim eventually. We could still build this. Just build it. If he goes for it, unfortunate. If he doesn't, well, then fortunate. We need to leave a path of destruction available for Kazrak. In fact, I think Kazrak will take all of this. In fact, maybe we just raise the thing at Griffinwood instead of waiting for Sithas and Kiel. And yeah, it'll give us Essen and Nagenhof. But then we lose... Well, no, it's a bigger area denial still. No, we're still gonna go for Sithas. Alrighty, I think Morgar, then you're going back. I mean, I guess you could go for Essen and... what? Loop back through Waldenhof? How close are we to Drakenhof here? Essen... it should be somewhere here. Wait. I still am not one... oh, it's right there. There it is. Fairly close by. I was going to send Kazrak to get it, but we don't necessarily need to. Alright, fine. You cannot cross the river, but you actually can next turn. Alright, fine. Just go back here. At least this will allow Bravener to finally join you. He has been waiting for so long. He just wants to cast for you, Morgar. Speaking of Morgar, what do we get rid of here? We probably need the anti-large more than we need the little tiny Ungor herds. Like so. And then Bravener, join. Finally, Morger has a caster to call his own and help him out. We still probably will want to get a beast caster in here to buff up those chaos spawn, but otherwise I'm reasonably happy. And well, if it isn't Morgula, a actual full stack. Alright, Malagor. We have work for you to do. I guess we'll go into Hidden Encampment and we'll try to ambush them. Unfortunately, Norv is nearby. Then again, we don't really care if we lose Varan. We haven't oh, actually, we have invested in it. What's the likelihood they bypass us and go for Varan when we're right here? Well, I guess we'll find out. It's too late to destroy those. Maybe they'll try to run past Malagor and get ambushed by him. And though frankly, ambush doesn't really help Malagor's army like it would most armies that much, because the air forces are still going to function roughly the same either way. Not that it's a major issue or anything. Anyway, I believe that is good. We have no money. We have 800 dread to go to spend on what we need, so we're gonna end another turn and proceed. Gotta get the strong survive up and running for more dread as well. And I also gotta get another free hero, another hero up and running to send to Scarbrand. Gotta get those Cornate units for our eventual Corn armies. Changeling, what you want? Does this actually do anything for us? Does anybody know whether an actual alliance with the Changeling does literally anything for you? I feel like it doesn't, but I'm just gonna do this anyway. Well done. Because we're allying with the Chaos Forces. The Chaos Forces are the only ones, and that's not the Norskins. The Norskins are most definitely too civilized for the Beastmen, but the actual forces of Chaos... there they are. There's that army we were looking for, and that's why we didn't invest in these. The actual... Oh, wow, what the heck? How did that hurt you so much? Really, this? Well, at least it's free dread, and frankly, we didn't care about one of these anyway. What was I saying? Oh, we will need to send Kazrak back around to destroy these guys, or Drycha will come back. Yeah, Norskins are definitely too civilized, because they have something of a civilization. They're just, you know, super roided out Vikings. Oh. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's real interesting. Oh, that's really interesting. Settlement laws, a Confederation Bordelot errant Kurun. That's fine. That's just fine. You guys have fallen into one of the classic blunders here. You're about to get ripped apart by Taurox. All of these armies together. Alright, so that should be pretty fun, which we'll deal with in a second. Anyway, the forces of chaos, as I was trying to say before interrupting myself 50,000 times, as I usually do, are the only ones that are really not any kind of civilized. If the orcs are too civilized, then yeah. Oh, we need ambush to not work here, don't we? How do we do this? We can't disable ambush. Wait. I guess we'll set up in Ruination stance. We don't want the gathering herds because I don't want our doggos rampaging. Alright, fine, Ruination stance. It's not sieging, but at least this way we won't ambush, and this way we draw everybody out to fight us. Oh, I guess we could level up. I guess. You sir, Taurox. We don't need Titans of the Deep Forest as yet. I would love to get some Gorgons on the field, but that ain't available yet. Apocalyptic Vision for you instead, which gives us melee attack, leadership, and physical resistance for 30 seconds. Not horrible. The Bray Shaman are up next. We have Vile Tide and Devolve maxed out, which are the things we spam. Let's max out Scouting and Magical Reserves. Nice, and next Bray Shaman. You are Bray Shaman of Beasts, so we need Wissen's Wild Form maxed out, and I guess we'll get Wild Heart. And then we'll want to get Pan's Impenetrable Pelt maxed out as well. Now, the various Gorbals. You already have Destruction maxed. I don't care that much about rating, so let's get you a point. Do we want the 2 points in Gouge Tusk? I mean, they're fine, and I like the unit mass, but I think we want to get to Deadly Onslaught ASAP, so let's get for Deadly, go for Deadly Blade instead, like so. And then you are going to get the last of your points, so Destruction for raising settlements, Blade Master, Gnarled Hide, and Primal instincts, as much defensive stuff as possible, because the Minotaurs are very not defensive, generally speaking. Also, before I forget, you 2 Ruby Rings of Ruin into a hunting spear. Free Amber Spear, it's not nothing. We can put it on one of our, mages that is on a Tuskor Chariot as a weapon, and then put it into position to actually cast it periodically. I forgot what it was called. That was Hunting Spear. I wish it would give at least some kind of buff, any kind of buff, but apparently not. Anyway, that looks good to me. Let's do one more battle this episode. Away we go. Alright, what do we have here? Decent pile of enemies, mostly peasants, but I see a few Knights of the Realm, a few Knights Errant as well, and though I'm sure none of those are particularly threatening to Taurox, away we go. There we go, alrighty, here we go. The 4th battle of the episode, and hopefully the most fun one. And we're going to start off attacking this one little enemy lord who tried to get away from Taurox, but that just is not going to happen. Always nice to start the battle off with a preemptive little duel here. We do have our warhounds in the background, but they're mostly just waiting to prevent the enemy lord from escaping once Taurox inevitably defeats him. And defeat him, it looks like he has. Wavering, damage sustained, very tired, and by the looks of it, he will shatter in another blow from Taurox. There we go, swing away, and here come the hounds to prevent him from escaping. There we go, we're just gonna chase him down. It's gonna take a few seconds, and one more hit, and there we go. The spin to win, or the roll to win, I guess, will bring the Lord down, and an auspicious beginning for this first battle. Await reinforcement. Let's speed this up as we get back into position, and start working on the first of the enemy reinforcement armies, though the 2nd and 3rd are moving on to the field as well. Taurox doesn't care about armies, he doesn't care about support, he's just going to chase the first thing he can see and axe at some poignant questions, and it looks like Knights of the Realm are going to try to block him and prevent him from chasing down the enemy lord. Foolish, I think, because Taurox is going to rip through them just as easily as he would have ripped through their lord. And hey, well, Hagen the Lord has come to play as well. Taurox doesn't care. This is what Taurox wants, as he can stab and gore and roll in any and all directions. Alright, and of course, while Taurox is busy with the enemy lord, who quickly drops to about half HP, and so do those Knights of the Realm, it looks like a few more Knights of the Realm are moving in, but the rest of our army has moved into the fray. This is also going to be the debut for a few of our Gorebull units, who are looking to enjoy themselves here as well. Alright, I wish they were, I mean, they are a little bit bigger than the Minotaurs, and a little bit more heavily armored. I was about to say, I wish they were a little bit easier to spot within the piles of Minotaurs, mostly because when we have a mostly Minotaur-made army, it's going to be a little bit more problematic to spot them, but oh well. Over in the background, while the enemy knights have been separated from their peasants, our classic combo of the Pestilent Warhounds and the Razor Gores are just moving among the enemy peasants and obliterating them. Whether it be men-at-arms or peasant archers, it matters not. None of them are really a threat to this combination of units, and it looks like most of them have begun to rout already. Alright, there's a peasant mob and a peasant bowman, also I guess mobs still remaining, but this is only the beginning, as there are still the other 2 armies to take care of. Oh, it looks like Hagen is now running away, and we're going to send some Hounds of Pestilence to chase him down. There's no real need for Taurox to deal with it, and it looks like what is this? What are you doing, AI? Okay, well, normally I wouldn't do this. Normally I wouldn't, but frankly, it's just too tempting. So we're, ooh, nice little amber spear there. What we're going to do is we're going to move Mr. Slaw in. We're going to start off with that amber spear, follow it up with a trickster shard, and then move in to cast some spells in this blob. And yeah, of course we could move in Taurox and the rest of the army and surround it and destroy it like that, but, well, I think they would do so anyway, and this is just too tempting. I swear this is the only time I'll do this. There we go. Hit the entire blob with a devolve, and then hit the entire blob with a, not with the Brace Scream. Too bad we didn't level Brace Scream. Maybe I guess I should have. But hit them with a Vile Tide instead, taking about roughly a quarter to half of the HP off a bunch of units. And of course the devolve upgraded is still going, so it'll continue to hurt at least a few of those units a little bit more. Not bad, not bad. Now Taurox is going to join the fray, getting jealous of all the damage that Slaw is dealing, and try to hunt down another enemy lord. He has already dueled 2, and it looks like he's already taken another half HP off the new lord. Where you going, bud? You sure you don't want to fight Taurox? Take him off the field? No? Okay. Good luck to you. Alrighty, well, while Taurox deals with that, the Minotaurs and Gorbals and join the fray once more, and we'll be facing off against some Knights Errant. Of course, the Knights of Errant are not going to be nearly as threatening as the Knights of the Realm were, and we should be able to break through their lines quite quickly. Over in the background, we are still periodically casting spells from our shaman. It looks like this blob of peasants just doesn't want to move. Alright, well, you know what? This is one of those times where the AI is just borked and doesn't understand or doesn't know what to do, and we're just going to punish it for it. As I said, I normally wouldn't take advantage of this, but frankly, they stand no chance against our army anyway, since we were able to isolate and destroy most of them before we even got here. And yeah, we'd be able to work through this pile of peasants with our bulls and our fast movers, regardless of whether we were to cast anything. And here we go, deep as we can go into that enemy formation of peasants, just because we can, and just to be able to hit them in every direction. We should try our best to try to surround them as well, and that's why our fast movers are going to try to loop around the enemy army. And what do we have here? I do believe that's another devolve going to come down, and a second or maybe third Vile Tide from our shaman. They're clearing a massive hole through the enemy line, and maybe forcing those confused peasants to do something. Well, this seems like a very, very confused battlefield. I guess with Taurox having defeated all of the lords of the peasants and just decapitated their command structure, the peasants just don't know what to do. And yet, possibly too afraid to just abandon the field in the way that they probably should, and I suppose there were still knights to run them down, even if they were to give it a try. Anyway, with that, it looks like the enemy army will simply shatter. Turned out to be a much easier and quicker battle than I was originally expecting, but hey, that certainly made it a little bit different, and not to worry, we still have just a billion Bretonian territories nearby, so I'm sure we'll be facing off against stacks where we will butcher them the old-fashioned way, and probably face off against Lewin's army at some point with Pegasus Knights and other elites, etc, etc, etc. Anyway, some chasing to do, but we can do it off-screen. Alrighty, there we go, and this time, obviously, we have a sort of accidental standout. 800 kills and 252,520 damage on Mr. Slaw, our Bray Shaman of Wild. Now, Mostly this happened because the AI was being an idiot and decided to ball up for some reason. Maybe that was their version of the fetal position, just at the very concept of having to face Taurox on the field of battle, but nonetheless, this is a feat worthy of song, and thus this Beret Shaman will be immortalized in our recurring character list, like Grotzlik Gitstompa of the Orky campaign. That was just too big of a feat, I think, to ignore him. So, in that light, okay, first of all, what we need to do is, well, our Bestial Rage is fine. So devour the captives for a teensy bit of healing. Alright, so currently your name is just Slaw. What I need from you guys is his second name. Something that either works to this feat or something that, well, better yet, something that makes sense for the Beastmen. I think I will just pick whichever one will be the best one, and this character will be recurring for our Beastmen campaigns or runs going forward. Slaw something Beastmen-y. Anyway, for now, we need to head towards Castle Gisoreux, which by the looks of it, we still cannot reach with Taurox. You just can't cross the water. Damn, it's really annoying. Hopefully he's not stuck here for more than one turn, but yeah. Man, he just refuses to cross the river altogether, doesn't he? He'll need the full movement, and no, he doesn't even want to move anymore. Oh, wait. Hopefully we're not completely stuck because, oh man. Yeah, there's the issue. We're stuck in the zone of control, but we can't cross the river. Oh, it'll be really unfortunate if he's fully stuck, and we'll need to send an army to kind of bail him out, or I guess peace out with these guys, but they, well, they don't want to do that. They are pretty strong at Strength Rank 5. Anyway, Strength Ranks aside, we are out of time today, and I'm going to call the episode here. Next time, we see if Taurox can still move. We continue destroying Drycha and take a little bit of revenge for Wiedebach. Not that we really cared about it, mind you, and this will at least enable us to get the ritual at Talabayam done by raising it, so that's gonna be fine. And since we didn't invest in it, we don't care. Anyway, Morgur will probably move down to Needling unless I bother to send him to Wiedebach. We will destroy Drycha's faction with Kazrak and Malagor, and we'll hopefully ambush the Dark Elves and continue what he's doing here. I think a couple more rituals, maybe even one more ritual, and we'll be able to get a new army up and running, so that should be fun as well, and should be pretty different from the armies we currently have. Though once again, we are currently gated mostly by dread, so we need to get as much dread as possible to unlock all the fancy units we're missing. Anyway, more Beastmen to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially to Threshold if you're interested in the hour-long next episode, and don't forget your suggestions for Slaw's second name. Ooh, Bloodbeast would be pretty good. But I'm not going to steal one on already existing, plus I want it to be a community name. Anyway, I've already said the stuff. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.